Recording. There we go. Now we're recording. Now we're leaving. See ya.
Adios.
See ya. We're leaving. Here we go. Lifting off. See ya.
Why are we here?
Now we're on our way out. Give it to you. Don't let the pressure get you. Don't let the pressure get you. Oh boy.
That lift off, like, just, it was mean to me. The lift off was mean to me.
Yes, good thing I'm heavy.
It felt like a gorilla was sitting on my back. That's weird. And we don't have spacesuits, so I can't go outside of any planets. And we don't want to get struck by lightning on Venus or Jupiter or any other gas planet. Would also want, I think Saturn's moons is electrocuted. You'll see. And then I'll point it out to you.
Down there, life continues. The traffic is awful, stocks go on trading, and Star Trek is still showing.
Man. We'll step out and get something to drink. Back in the kitchen. Want me to get you something?
When we return home, if we return home,
Want some juice?
will it be the same? Will we be the same?
Okay. And I'll just be here.
Okay, go right back from the gallon.
We have to leave all this behind
Whoa.
to dip our toes into the
Oh,
vast,
bye-bye.
dark ocean,
Have fun time at the kitchen. At home.
On.
Earth.
to the moon.
I'm gonna stay here. Wow. Phew.
Dozens of astronauts have come this way before us. 12 walked on the moon itself. Just 250,000 miles from home. 3 days by spacecraft. Barren. Desolate. It's like a deserted battlefield. But oddly familiar. So close, we've barely left home.
The original spacecraft of Buzz Armstrong's footprints.
Neil Armstrong's first footprints.
Or Popop.
Looks like they were made yesterday. There's no air to change them.
See right here.
They could survive for millions of years. Maybe longer than us.
Okay.
Alright, water from the gallon.
Our time is limited.
Okay.
We need to
now-
take our own
now-
giant leap. 1 million miles, 5 million, 20 million miles.
Now.
We're far beyond where
Venus.
any human has ever ventured.
Even though it doesn't go
Out of the
Earth, Moon,
darkness,
Venus.
a friendly face. The goddess
We're
of
supposed to
love,
go back to planets.
Venus. The morning star, the evening star.
So we make it to Venus
She can
yet?
welcome the new day in the east,
We're going to.
say goodnight in the west.
Alrighty. Good thing we brought plenty of liquid to drink.
A sister to our planet, she's about the same size and gravity as Earth.
And don't worry, the kitchen is in our space.
We should be safe here. But the Venus Express space probe is setting off alarms. It's telling us these dazzling clouds, they're made of deadly sulfuric acid. The atmosphere is choking with carbon dioxide. Never expected this. Venus is one angry goddess. The air is noxious, pressure unbearable. And it's hot, approaching 900 degrees. Stick around and we'd be corroded, suffocated, crushed, and baked. Nothing can survive here. Not even this Soviet robotic probe. Its heavy armor's been trashed by the extreme atmosphere.
Poor thing.
Yeah, the gas is hands up.
So lovely from Earth. Up close, this goddess is hideous.
First person to step on Venus. Me and Papa.
She's the sister from hell, pockmarked by thousands of volcanoes. All that carbon dioxide is trapping the sun's heat. Venus is burning up. It's global warming gone wild. Before it took hold, maybe Venus was beautiful, calm, more like her sister planet Earth. So this could be Earth's future.
This is obsidian, then obsidian.
Where are the
then
twinkling
obsidian,
stars?
and
The beautiful
345
spheres
random
gliding through
obsidian.
space.
The hardest material.
Maybe we shouldn't be out here. Maybe we should turn back. But there's something about the sun, something hypnotic, like the Medusa, too terrible to look at, too powerful to resist, luring us onwards, on, like a moth to a flame. Wait, there's something else, obscured by the sun. It must be Mercury. Get too close to the sun, this is what happens. Temperatures swing wildly here. At night, it's minus 275 degrees. Come midday, it's 800 plus. Burnt, then frozen. The Messenger space probe is telling us something strange. For its size, Mercury has a powerful gravitational pull.
Space exploration makes you thirsty, huh?
It's a huge ball of iron, covered with a thin veneer of rock, the core of what was once a much larger planet.
Hot planets.
So where's the rest of it? Maybe a stray planet slammed into Mercury, blasting away its outer layers in a deadly game of cosmic pinball. Whole worlds, on the loose, careening wildly across the cosmos, destroying anything in their path. And we're in the middle of it. Vulnerable, exposed, small. Everything is telling us to turn back. But who could defy this? The sun,
To the sun.
in all its mesmerizing splendor. Our light, our lives. Everything we do is controlled by the sun, depends on it.
And they also solar flares like that.
It's the Greek god Helios driving his chariot across the sky.
Well, there's a big solar
The
flare
Egyptian
on
god
top.
Ra,
Look at that,
reborn
guys.
every day. The summer solstice sun rising at Stonehenge.
Ugh.
For millions of years, this was as close as it
I
got
think we are
to
gonna
staring
test
into
this
the
How's your
face
sunblock?
of God.
out. What?
How is your sunblock? You put plenty of sunblock on?
Our ship is sunblocked.
Oh, good.
The windows
It's
have
so far
sunblock on
away.
them, and
If
the
it burned out, we wouldn't know about it for 8 minutes.
flares bounce off it and then go back into the sun.
It's so big, you could fit 1 million Earths inside it.
Very good.
Even our chairs.
This is a good place, man.
It's just a big,
But who needs numbers? We've got the real thing.
hot lava gases.
We see it every day, a familiar face in our sky. Now, up close, it's unrecognizable.
And there's nuclear
A
energy.
turbulent sea of incandescent gas. The thermometer pushes 10,000 degrees.
And if we are in the magic school bus,
Can't imagine how hot the
then
core
we'll
is.
actually go into the
Could be
center
tens of
and-
millions
and-
of
and grab
degrees.
the nuclear energy to power up the school bus.
Be a lot of nuclear energy to grab.
Hot enough to transform millions of tons of matter into energy,
As the core
Every
is
second.
made of nuclear energy.
more than all the energy ever
And they
made by
basically grab the
mankind,
core.
dwarfing the power of all the nuclear weapons on Earth. Back home, we use this energy for light and heat, but up close, there's nothing comforting about the sun. Its electrical and magnetic forces erupt in giant molten gas loops.
Yeah, the sun doesn't
Some are
rise
larger
and
than a
set in
dozen Earths,
space.
Yep.
more powerful than 10 million volcanoes.
Rises or sets because it's always just in the same place. The Earth moves around it. That's the cause of it.
Mhm.
And it also just spins like it spins while it's spinning like this.
Yep.
When they burst through, they expose cooler layers below.
And if it didn't, and if it only did this, it would
Sunspots.
stay one season forever.
A fraction cooler
Well,
than their surroundings.
spring would be nice.
Sunspots look black, but they're hotter than
Or
anything
fall.
on Earth,
We're far away up.
and massive. Up to 20 times
Maybe
the
not
size
7.
of Earth.
Not forever, though. Too much heat.
When we just touch the sun,
Skimming the surface.
roughly, yeah.
But one day,
We'll get
all this will stop.
hmm
The sun's fuel will be spent.
If we wanted to, we could go in the center of the sun. It's just
And when it
it'd
dies,
probably take forever
Earth will
because
follow.
you just keep bouncing off the surface.
Yeah, could be.
this
But
God
if we
creates
start
life
from really far away,
destroys
we never
it,
drive
and demands we
we're
keep our
right in
distance.
the center of the sun.
Cool.
Now we're going into a comet.
This comet strayed too close.
Thirsty.
The sun's heat is boiling it away, creating a tail that stretches for millions of miles.
Well, now you don't even need it in drink because it's so cold here.
It's freezing it here. There's no doubt where this comet's from. The icy wastes of deep space. But all the steam, geysers, and dust. It's the sun again, melting the comet's frozen
Now we
heart.
need to go back into the sun.
Strange. A kind of vast, dirty snowball, covered in grimy tar.
Space trinkets.
Tiny grains of what looks like organic material preserved on ice since who knows when.
Been in space for a long time.
Maybe even the beginning of the solar system. Say a comet like this crashed into the young Earth billions of years ago. Maybe it delivered organic material and water, the raw ingredients of life. It may even have sown the seeds of life on Earth that evolved into you and me. But say it crashed into the Earth now. Think of the dinosaurs, wiped out by a comet
Yeah.
or asteroid strike.
Darkness makes you sleepy.
And
It's
it's
only a question of time.
11 o'clock.
Eventually, one day,
Yes.
we'll go the way of the
Yours
dinosaurs.
again.
I can see it at nighttime.
There's a moon. Moon.
If life on Earth was wiped out,
No,
we'd
the
be
moon's
stuck
right
out here, homeless, adrift in a hostile
Keep
universe.
up. Everything's moving.
We need to find another home. Among the millions, billions of planets, there must be one that's not too hot, not too cold, with air, sunlight, water. Where, like Goldilocks, we could comfortably live.
I need to get some real quick.
Okay.
The red
Fall
planet,
off the ship.
unmistakably Mars.
It's in the bedroom.
Okay.
For centuries, we've looked to Mars for company, for signs of life. Could there be extraterrestrial life here? Are we ready to rewrite the history books, to tear up the science books, to turn our world upside down? What happens next could change everything. Mars is the planet that most captures our imagination. Think of B-movies, sci-fi comics. What follows? Martians. It's all just fiction, right?
Found it.
Uh-huh. Did
But
I
what
miss
if there really
anything?
is something here?
Get ready to land.
On Mars?
Hard to imagine, though. Up close, this is a dead planet. The activity that makes the Earth livable shut down millions of years ago here. Red and dead. Mars is a giant fossil. Wait. Something is alive. A dust devil. A big one. Bigger than the biggest twisters back home. There's wind here. And where there's wind, there's air.
Going to my...
Could that air sustain extraterrestrial life? It's too thin for us to breathe.
She can't make very long.
And there's no
trips.
ozone layer. Nothing to protect us against the sun's ultraviolet rays. There is water, but frigid temperatures keep it in a constant deep freeze.
Sounds like she's in the galley.
It's hard to believe anything could live here. Back on Earth, there are creatures that survive in extreme cold, heat, even in the deepest ocean trenches. It's as though life is a virus. It adapts, spreads.
Giant dust storm in the desert.
Maybe that's what we're doing right now, carrying the virus of life across the universe.
Let's see, it's...
Even in the most extreme conditions, life usually finds a way.
It's 2:34.
But on a dead planet, with no way to replenish its soil, no heat to melt its frozen water,
It's another nighttime again.
Yeah, we'll be home. Another hour, 15 minutes.
all this dust, it's hard to see where we're going. Olympus Mons, named after the home of the Greek gods. A vast, ancient volcano, 3 times higher than Everest. There's no sign of activity. Since its discovery in the 1970s, it's been declared extinct.
On this far away, I can just see those little
Hang on.
orange
These look like lava flows. But any sign of lava should be long gone, obliterated by meteorite craters. Unless this monster isn't dead, just sleeping. There could be magma flowing beneath the crust right now,
Oh,
building up, waiting to be unleashed.
videos onto your tablet?
Volcanic activity could be melting frozen water in the soil, pumping gases into the atmosphere, recycling minerals and nutrients, creating all the conditions needed for life.
We are...
This makes the Grand Canyon look like a crack in the sidewalk. Endless desolation, so vast it would stretch all the way across North America.
Yep.
But here signs of activity, erosion, and what looks like dried up riverbeds. Maybe volcanic activity melted ice in the soil, sending water gushing through this canyon.
Oh no,
Underground
there it is.
volcanoes could still be
Martians.
melting
Oh
ice,
yeah, we're on Mars.
creating water.
Mars.
And where there's water,
Martians and Martians. Look at all that.
The space rover.
the hunt for life is spearheaded by this humble fellow, the NASA rover Opportunity. It's finding evidence that these barren plains were once ancient lakes or oceans that could have harbored life.
Traveled here for about an hour.
Just an hour?
They're magnets.
Yeah.
Look at those gullies. Probes orbiting Mars keep spotting new ones. More proof that Mars is alive and kicking. That water is flowing beneath its surface right now.
What is that?
Water that could be sustaining Martian life.
Is that all the sand on Mars?
Looks like it. It'll fall out the window.
Now all we have to do
The
is
window
find it.
is closed. Because if it was open, then we could breathe.
Maybe we've already found what we're looking for.
Because all the air
On
would
Earth.
just travel out the window.
Something that life started here and then migrated to Earth.
Joel, it would probably implode.
Yeah, and then die.
An asteroid impact could have blasted fragments of Mars, complete with tiny microbes, out into space and onto the young Earth where they sowed the seeds of life.
We would definitely
No
die
wonder
in
we
space.
find Mars fascinating.
Space
This could be
has
our ancestral
zero
home.
air.
It could be
Earth has 100%
we are all
air.
Martians.
Space is 0% air.
The Mars we thought we knew is gone,
You got the
replaced
ship?
by this
Yes,
new active
I'm
changing
in
planet.
control now.
And if we don't know Mars, our next door neighbor, how can we imagine what surprises lie ahead? Our compass points across the cosmos, back in time 14 billion years, to the moment of creation. This is getting scary. It's like being inside a giant video game. But these are all too real. Asteroids, some of them hundreds of miles wide. This one must be about 20 miles long. And there, perched on it, a space probe. Can't have been easy parking on an asteroid traveling at 50,000 miles an hour. It's a lot of effort just to investigate some rubble. Rubble that regularly collides, breaks up, and rains down on Earth as meteorites. Our ancestors saw shooting stars as magical omens, and they were right. Rubble like this came together to make the planets, including our own. Pretty magical. By dating the meteorites found on Earth, we can tell the planets were born 4.6 billion years ago. These are the birth certificates of our solar system.
Oh, hi! Hi, space dog.
For some reason, these rocks didn't form into a planet. Something must have stopped them. Something
I
powerful.
want to be back on Earth. It's scary being here.
Jupiter. What a monster. At least 1,000 times bigger than Earth. So vast you could fit all the other planets inside it. Something this massive dominates its neighbors. Its gravity is pulling the asteroids
Thought you were hanging
apart.
out back in the galley.
Yeah.
You were hanging out back in the galley.
And it's breathtaking.
And you missed being on an asteroid.
Oh no.
But the asteroids are what.
But this
the asteroid
beauty
was
is a
really
beast.
fun.
Wasn't
Because we almost crashed into the
It's
asteroid.
almost all gas.
And it was just a
Land
big
here and
asteroid.
we'd sink straight through its layers
So
into
weird.
oblivion.
We'll have to watch it on a video when we're done touring.
Yeah, we're just. Is that even the
And
camera?
Jupiter's good looks,
Yeah, that's the camera.
product of ferocious
Right
violence.
on the window.
It's spinning at an incredible
Oh,
rate,
moon.
whipping up winds to hundreds of miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
contorting the clouds into stripes, eddies, whirlpools. And this, the legendary Great Red Spot,
No.
the biggest, most violent storm in the solar system. At least 3 times the size of Earth, it's been raging for over
Well, you
300
did a good
years.
job flying the ship while I was gone.
I didn't fly a ship. It's an
All these
autopilot.
churning clouds must have sparked an electrical
Maybe
storm.
we'll find any Chick-fil-A's out of here.
Just one bolt is 10,000 times more intense than any at home.
Storms everywhere. This is a
Looks like the safest place to see Jupiter
Ew.
is from a distance.
What's that purple spot?
Up there at the poles, those dancing lights,
Weird.
they're like the auroras back home.
It looks like it's a big cyclone on it.
But the Geiger counter is going wild. Even these are
Yeah.
deadly, generated by lethal radiation.
Yeah, because the narrator is just not saying anything right now. I don't know why.
Out
He's
here, nothing is
narrating
what it
while we fly
seems.
through, but I guess he doesn't want to be in the same room with us yet.
Yeah.
The universe is full of terrors, traps,
Narrators are private. They always sit in their own little booth.
Maybe this is a safe haven. The multicolored moon Io.
No. Oh, great.
Man on a moon.
And I hope it has a good tube.
Wrong.
I hope so.
Very
Maybe
wrong.
the tune would be nice.
Those brilliant colors are molten rock, volcanoes, spewing lava.
Yeah. What
It
is
must be a
it?
magnetic pole or something.
Our journey across the universe is turning into a struggle for survival. We've got to hope that if we outlast the dangers, we'll be rewarded by wonders beyond imagination.
The avalanche.
400 million miles from
Now
Earth.
I'm controlling the ship.
Flying a commercial airliner here would take nearly a century.
Now we're going on a moon. Back to our
What a weird looking place.
We've already crashed into here,
And
but
yet,
I'm not a good
strangely
pilot. I'm
familiar.
not a good pilot.
A bit like the Arctic,
Yeah.
with all that
Flying
ice,
the ship.
all those ridges and cracks.
I don't have my license.
Boy.
Luckily,
It's
there's no
Jupiter's moon,
ships out here.
Europa.
Good thing we're in space.
Maybe like the Arctic, this ice is floating on water, liquid water.
Officers with laws.
Giving it to it.
Wow.
But we're 500 million miles from the sun.
It's terrible. It's
Surely
really
Europa is frozen solid.
sad. But luckily, we have some pizza.
That's right. Good deal.
And it's hot, because we're on a cool
Unless
planet.
Jupiter's gravity is creating friction deep inside, heating the ice into water, allowing life to develop in the waters beneath its frozen crust. We might be feet away from aliens, from a whole ecosystem of microbes, crustaceans, maybe even squid. The only thing between us and the possibility of alien life, this layer of ice. But until we send a spacecraft to drill here, Europa's secrets will remain beyond reach.
They had broccoli, chicken,
Oh, sweet.
some ricotta cheese, pesto sauce.
Does it have blue cheese?
No.
No, no blue.
It's captivated our imaginations, haunted our dreams.
Something was coming up to crash.
And here it is, spinning before our eyes. Saturn, named for the Roman god who reigned over a golden age of peace and harmony.
I'm upside down!
This planet's a giant ball of gas,
Autopilot.
so light it would float on water.
Not worth
Its
it.
spectacular rings would stretch almost from Earth to the moon.
Seriously?
There's the Cassini orbiter.
Crash.
It's picking up ghostly radio emissions, probably generated by auroras around Saturn's poles. This is the real music of the spheres. Cassini's telling us where these rings came from. They're the remnants of a moon shattered by Saturn's gravitational
Oh
pull.
no.
Watch out for the asteroid belt.
Incomparable
It's
beauty
not an asteroid belt, it's
from
Saturn's
total
ring.
destruction.
But there's asteroids, there's rocks in there. Look, we're sinking into the ring.
Billions of shards of ice, some as small as ice cubes, others the size of houses.
Rocks everywhere.
They collide, break apart, reassemble. It's like a snapshot of our early solar system.
Not working.
As dust and gas orbited the newly born sun, and gravity worked its magic, pulling the lumps together until from space trash like this, our home emerged.
Autopilot now.
We could stay here forever.
Good to relax.
But there's so much further to go. So much more to see.
Saturn's moon.
Like this moon wrapped in thick
Doesn't that
clouds.
bring that thing right?
Titan.
That line is just Saturn's rings. And this moon is the worst moon ever.
The worst one ever.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is the moon I was talking about in the beginning of the video that I labeled. You'll see. Dude.
There's an atmosphere
See
down
that
here.
lightning up there?
There's
that
wind,
right there.
rain,
Yep.
even seasons. Rivers, lakes, and oceans.
And
It
I
looks so
know you're
familiar,
being
so
caught.
similar
It's
to
a
Earth.
cruise ship and out of control. Hold on to the
But that's not water. It's liquid natural gas. Hundreds of times more natural gas than all the Earth's oil and gas reserves. Maybe one day we'll use this energy to fuel a colony. Assuming there isn't life here already.
I gotta fly the ship by myself. Should I eject it out through one of the tubes?
The Huygens space probe is here to find out.
happening.
It's telling us there's organic material in the soil,
A ton. No, I didn't.
but it's so cold,
It's on the same
minus
page.
300 degrees.
Okay,
We haven't gone very far.
There's no way life could develop
good.
unless Titan warms up. The sun is supposed to get hotter. When it does, maybe life will spring up
It's out of
here,
control.
just like it did on Earth. And as the Earth gets too hot for us,
No!
maybe we'll move to Titan. One day we might call this distant land home.
Where were you? Were you eating in the kitchen? The kitchen? In the spacecraft?
Home. We're at least 700 million miles away now.
Look at that!
After this, we lose
that
visual
beautiful?
contact with Earth.
Lulu, Isn't that beautiful?
We're standing on a cliff, looking out over a great chasm that stretches to the beginning of time.
Sorry.
Do we have the
About
3 more
courage
planets to visit. Not
to
another
jump?
hour.
At least 3 more.
or in the
Or we
solar
can't
system's
do more.
outer reaches?
It's okay.
Unseen from Earth, unknown for most of history. It's like
Couple more
diving into the
planets.
depths of the ocean.
Another hour, then we'll be home. Stop while you're whining. Okay? Sound good?
Man, it's nighttime.
Those rings make it look like Uranus has been tilted off its axis,
My watch is out of control.
toppled over by a
We're
stray
so far away
planet.
from the Earth.
Yeah, there's no time out here.
It's eerie
We're
out here,
just in unknown space and
already
time.
beginning to
We're
feel
not in
small,
unknown space.
lonely.
Because we know this.
Look how fast
Maybe this is how we'll feel at the edge of the universe.
Look how fast it's what?
spinning.
But we've barely left the shore.
Something flashed by. I missed
If
it.
the solar system was 1 mile wide, so far we've traveled about 3 inches.
Galaxies.
Okay. Neptune it is.
Out of the deep, another strange beast. The god of the sea,
Awesome.
Neptune.
That's a pretty blue color.
This world is covered in methane gas. And a storm as big as Earth, whipped up by savage 1,000-mile-an-hour winds. Back home, it's the sun that drives the wind. But Neptune's far away. Something else must be creating these ferocious winds.
It's kind of like Jupiter when it says
But what?
it's just called the Great Spot.
We know very little about our own
And
solar
what
system.
is that? Is that a moon?
Looks like
It looks exactly like our moon.
we're gonna land on. We just go around it, man.
After all those balls of gas, a solid moon,
Okay, that looks nothing like our moon.
Nah,
Triton,
Wait,
not like ours.
solid,
nothing like ours.
Crazy looking.
but not stable.
It's crazy looking.
Ah!
Just look at those geysers, cosmic smokestacks, pumping out strange soot.
I hope we don't get hit by
And this
one.
moon is revolving around Neptune in the opposite direction of the planet's spin.
Way out
A
there.
cosmic battle of wills that this angry moon is destined to lose. Neptune's massive gravity is pulling on Triton, slowing it down, reeling it in.
Look at that cave. Whoa!
One
Now
day,
that's a big
it will
one.
be ripped apart by Neptune.
Whoa.
And that's it.
Uh,
No more moons, no more planets
We're
in our
lost.
solar system. It's getting colder. We're getting further from the sun,
Cover the ship.
slipping from the grip of its gravitational tentacles.
Whoa!
Ah, I thought we were going to hit.
But this isn't a void. It's teeming.
Is this like the second
with
asteroid
frozen
though?
rocks.
What? Pluto!
Until recently, we thought Pluto was alone. Beyond it,
We're
nothing.
gonna land on Pluto. Oh.
We were wrong. More frozen worlds. Discoveries so new nobody
I
can
hope
agree
Pluto
what
has
to
more than
call
one
them.
moon. Is that
Cutinos,
good? I
ice
thought so.
dwarfs,
Okay,
cubiwanos.
our moon. There's tons of moons out here.
Stuff is flying past.
Our solar system is far more chaotic
Could get
and
dangerous.
strange than we had imagined.
Are
Now we're
we
8
flying
billion miles from
outside
home.
of the- Oh yeah, we're
The
trying.
most distant thing ever seen that orbits the sun. Another small, icy world,
Caves look like
Sedna, discovered in 2003.
What is that?
Its orbit takes 10,000 years to complete.
Second dwarf planet probably.
Hang on. There's something else out here.
Phew.
10 billion miles from home, the space probe Voyager 1. This bundle of aluminum and antennae give us close-up views of the giant planets and discovered many of their strange moons. It's traveling 20 times faster than a bullet, sending messages home. That gold plaque is a kind of intergalactic message in a bottle. A greeting recorded in different languages.
Hello from the children of planet Earth. يا مناد الأصدقاء بالنجوم يا ليت يجمعنا
And a map showing how to find our home solar system. The great physicist Stephen Hawking thinks it was a mistake to roll out the welcome mat. After all, if you're in the jungle, is it wise to call out?
Wow.
These comets look like the ones we saw earlier.
Yeah.
There's a theory that the raw materials for life began out here until something dislodged it, sending it hurtling towards the Earth. And seeing all this ice, maybe comets carried water to Earth too. To water in the oceans, in your body. All from this distant celestial ice machine.
Wow.
We're 5
All I
million
know
million.
that we're somewhere in
That's
the
5
unknown.
trillion miles from home. But this is still only a baby step. Ahead, trillions of miles, billions of stars.
Turn the ship off.
Time to stop looking back and start looking ahead.
Turn the ship off.
To step out
We just need to
into the big
land
wide
in
universe.
whatever that thing.
Interstellar space. Billions of stars like our own sun, many with planets, many of those with moons.
I feel like we should go now.
It's hard to know which way to go.
I don't know.
There are infinite
What in
possibilities.
the world is that thing?
We're going to need a serious burst of acceleration.
There is no button to wow.
Wow, man, looks like somebody on a psychedelic trip.
What?
25 trillion miles from home. A 150,000 year ride in the space shuttle. And we've only just reached the first
Where
solar
are
system
we?
beyond our own.
Maybe that's the star.
Alpha Centauri.
There's a planet called Eris and a star called Aries.
Not one, but 3 stars. Spinning around each other, locked in a celestial standoff. Each star's gravity attracting the other. Their blazing orbital speed keeping them apart.
Let's
Get between
see.
them and we'd be
yeah.
vaporized.
We are
Trillions of miles from home.
8.5 billion trillion
So far that miles are
zillion
becoming
miles away from
meaningless.
the Earth.
Out here we measure
the sun.
in light years.
That's a cool picture.
Light travels 6 trillion miles a year.
And
So we are over
time.
4 light years from home.
Are we landing in the unknown planet?
Distances so vast, they're mind-boggling. Who knows what strange forces lie ahead, what we'll discover when, if, we reach the edge of
Oh,
the
that's the
universe.
Milky Way. We were outside of the Milky Way galaxy.
It's a spiral galaxy, too.
10 light years from Earth, the star, Epsilon Eridani. Spectacular rings of dust and ice, and somewhere in there planets forming
Hello,
out of
weird
the
galaxy.
debris,
That
being
I don't
born
know.
before
I think
our
that's
eyes.
Milky Way. Go!
Might be Andromeda.
Andromeda.
I don't know. We'll have to wait for
Asteroids,
Andromeda to tell us.
comets,
More asteroids.
everywhere.
And those aren't just any asteroids. Those are made of metal.
We could almost be looking at our own solar system billions of years ago, with comets delivering the building blocks of life to these young planets.
The autopilots. I know where the Earth is.
Whoa! Looks like we warp speed again.
At the center of all the action, a star smaller than our sun, still in its infancy. Any life in this solar system would be primitive at best.
I didn't even know, so I didn't forget.
I know everywhere.
There
it
must
says
be more
even
mature
though
solar
what
systems
the-
out here.
What out of the universe is
But
called
finding them is like looking for a
heaven.
needle in a cosmic haystack.
I think we're in heaven.
20 light years from Earth.
Stone cupcakes.
Okay.
Star Gliese 581.
Oh, thanks. Oh, moon just flew by.
Cause that looks like
It's
the
about the
sun.
same age as our
That's
sun.
a different kind. Not our sun.
Oh, you got the moon cupcake.
Cool.
We're
Look at that.
home. Or is that just a?
This planet is just the
We
right
probably
distance
live
from
on
its
a
sun.
blue planet, I would think.
Any closer and
What
water
do
would
you-
boil away. Any further,
Or is that an
it would
exoplanet?
freeze.
Cause that is way bigger than
Ideal
the Earth.
conditions for life to emerge.
I don't know. All I know is that we're just lost.
And if a comet has struck, delivering water and organic materials, then life, complex beings like us, even civilizations like our own, could be down there, right now.
What's
They could be
Oh, yeah,
tuning
man,
into
yeah.
our TV signals, watching shows from 20 years ago. But until we devise a way of communicating over these vast distances,
Where that is, I don't know.
all we can do is speculate. Us and them, living parallel lives, unaware of each other's existence.
If this is an exoplanet, I will be upset.
Unless life has come and gone.
Wait.
That's the problem with comets.
Go.
They're creators
Whoa,
and destroyers,
we
as the
tied
dinosaurs
them?
found out the hard way.
Ah.
This is the needle in the cosmic haystack, the closest we've come to a habitable solar system like our own, but it's a chance encounter. There could be hundreds, millions more solar systems like this out there, or none at all.
What is that? It looks like Jupiter, but... Wait, why is my voice so tiny? Oh, we're
Some of the
running out.
atmosphere on this planet, Bellerophon, is being boiled away by its nearby star.
Real.
I know it exists. That's time.
From Earth, we can't see planets this far out. They're obscured by the brilliance of their neighboring stars. But the planets have a minute gravitational pull on those stars. Measure these tiny movements, and we can prove they exist. That's how we tracked down Bellerophon in the 1990s. and hundreds of other distant planets.
Nap, stir, flying through space.
65 light years from Earth.
Strange.
Turn on your TV here and you'd pick up Hitler's Berlin Olympics.
Yellow ball, orange ball, and
What? I think I exist at this time, because I exist right now.
good. It's a good thing.
Okay, now we're doing light spin.
The twin stars of Algol,
We're lost.
known to the ancients as the Demon Star.
Jesus, looks like we just keep going in the galaxy.
From Earth it appears to blink as one star passes across the other.
I wonder if Spock is
Up
out.
close it's even stranger.
Spock?
One star is being
Is that
sucked
planet
towards the other.
a moon or a galaxy?
Mr. Spock.
Who's Mr. Spock?
Almost 100 light years from home, faint whispers from one of the first ever radio broadcasts.
Look, we might get burned up. Oh, what is that coming at us?
Hearing this broadcast would communicate with us. We are very anxious to know how far the broadcast has reached.
Are we back before time?
From here on out, it's as
I
if
think
the
we're back
Earth never
before
existed.
time.
We might be.
When time
Keep
didn't
going
exist.
farther back in time.
Feels like a lifetime since we stood on that beach,
So,
looking up at the sky, wondering where and how we fit in. We've learned one thing for sure. The universe is too bizarre, too startling, for us to guess what lies ahead. Deep inside our galaxy, the Milky Way,
what?
pinpricks of light that have inspired 1,001 tales.
I'm guessing soon we're going to go before the universe
The Seven
even was a
Sisters.
thing.
Daughters of the
Definitely
ancient
have to hear
Greek
what the
god
narrator has
Atlas,
to say about this.
transformed into stars to comfort
Yeah.
their father as he held the heavens on his shoulders.
I know this is going to
This giant,
go like
Betelgeuse,
only inside
brightest,
our
biggest star we've seen so
9
far,
planets.
600 times wider than our sun.
But no, we're doing something even scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Place we don't even know about.
This is before the Milky Way was even a thing.
But this,
Yeah.
it's not a star. Not a planet.
It's
Not like anything we've
0,
seen.
0, 0, 0. This is where the Earth is supposed to be. But except there
A
is no
ghostly
time.
specter more than 1,300 light years from Earth. Orion's
0, 0,
dark
0,
cloud.
0, 0. This is 0 hours and
Dust
0
and
minutes and
gas
0 seconds.
shrouding us.
We're gonna keep stay like that.
Yeah.
Look at this mess.
I'm getting less hungry
There,
and less hungry.
deep inside,
even though I'm not
A
eating.
light pulling the dust and gas towards it, heating up, merging into a ball of burning hot gas, like a star,
Sorry.
like our
I don't
sun,
exist.
in miniature. Inside, it's millions of degrees. So hot it's beginning to trigger nuclear reactions, the kind that keep our sun shining, making energy, radiation, light. A star is being born.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Careful, don't knock it down.
Orion's dark cloud is a vast star factory.
Is my face actually down the way?
Not all the way.
We're witnessing the birth of the future universe.
It's a crazy looking place out there.
We're in.
We've come to expect destruction,
These are actually all
but this is one of the
galaxies.
universe's greatest
They need to
acts
get
of
spread
creation.
apart.
Starbird. This doesn't look right. Jets of gas, exploding out with tremendous force, blasting dust and gas out for millions of miles. It's unbelievably violent and creative.
There's really just
Nebula.
one.
Vast, glowing clouds of gas hanging in space. With no wind out here, they'll take thousands of years to disperse.
800, -800, -800. That's the time.
They seem to be forming a vast stellar sculpture. Nature is more than a scientist, an engineer. It's an artist on the grandest of scales.
It's just wrong looking.
And this is a masterpiece.
I think we're just gonna die.
Stars are born, grow up, and
That
then
kind of looks like a
what?
man. Like that's the
Do they
arm,
die?
that's his other arm, that's his body.
do they slip quietly into the night or go out with a bang?
In that thing.
Phew, flying, flying, flying. What the world?
Somewhere between here and the edge of the universe lies the answer.
Yeah.
Luminous clouds suspended in space, encircling what was once a star like our own sun.
Outside of the universe.
All that's left of it are these brightly colored gases. Elements formed by nuclear reactions deep inside,
Now
released into space on its death.
inside.
Green and violet,
Now
hydrogen and helium, the raw materials of the universe. Red and blue,
in there.
nitrogen and oxygen,
Like, I
the
wanna
building
get there
blocks
and
of
have
life on
it go.
Earth.
'Cause that's the universe.
For us to live, stars like this had to die. Every atom in our body was produced by nuclear fusion. In stars that died long before the Earth was even born.
Too wild.
We are all the stuff of stars. Our family tree
No, it's like
begins here.
nothing exists. Earth, sun, moon, none of it exists. The universe exists, nothing else. Gas exists. Crazy
At its
kablama's things
ghost of a
exist, like
star.
those, all those dots,
A white dwarf.
like those
White,
gas dots.
hot, small, but unbelievably dense.
Now, the blue space.
In the star's dying moments, its atoms fused
you know
and
what
squeezed together,
time we
making
are?
it so dense that just a teaspoon of this white dwarf would weigh
About 30
1
minutes.
ton.
I'm guessing I come to see it.
It's a chilling premonition of our sun's fate. 6 billion years from now, it'll become a white dwarf. Its death will
It's
herald
like,
the end
this
of
is
life
Earth.
on Earth.
But we're just looking up in the
Makes
night
you wonder
sky,
how
and
many
that's
other worlds have come and gone.
because the
Celestial
sun doesn't
stories
pop out
left
at night.
untold. Lost forever.
Look, it's moving. What? We're moving.
But the greatest story of them all is still
Do
to
you
be
know
told.
where we are, Bear?
We must go back through time to the very first
8,000
chapter
trillion Z.
to learn how the universe began.
Wait, 4 dinosaurs. 4.
The scattered remains of a
And we
dead
all found
star,
that in our imagination.
the Crab Nebula.
We were always on Earth.
6,000 light years from home, Deep inside, a stellar graveyard.
It's catastrophic.
We've learned so much, seen things we'd never have believed possible. Now sights like this,
Be a good
wonders
co-pilot.
once beyond imagination, we take in our stride. We're ready to face whatever lies ahead, determined to reach the edge of the universe. This is the calm after the storm. After a massive explosion, a supernova that turned a star into dust and gas.
Now we're back in blue space. Clouds. Look at that.
No, you're not. You're in hand.
The eye of the storm.
You're my hand.
A spinning, pulsating star. A pulsar.
No.
Spinning
Just
clouds.
kidding. I'm in your face.
Gravity has squeezed the giant star's core down to this.
What? No.
It's just 12 miles across. Unimaginably dense. One pinhead of this would weigh hundreds, maybe millions of tons. And as it shrank, like a figure skater spinning on the spot, arms outstretched, then pulling them in, it began to spin faster. Two beams of light, energy,
Is that the
radiation,
clock?
spinning 30 times a
What?
second,
This is what
powering the
clockwork
huge cloud of dust and
first
gas.
exists. It's the
There's so much radiation here,
It's
more
6
even
o'clock.
than on the sun.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Can we go back where
That was
where
easily
we
the
actually
deadliest
are?
thing we've encountered so
Wait,
far.
that did you see that thing?
Bullet.
That was the edge
Once it
of
would
the
have
universe.
terrified us. But now we realize that without the dangers, there'd be no wonders.
Oh, we're going
Without
back
the
in
nightmares,
time, I
there'd
think.
be no
I mean,
dreams.
forward in time. Forward in time looks weird. Gray clouds.
Getting a strange sensation.
Do we all thought this in our imagination and it's just
A
raining
feeling as though
now?
there's something
on
bad
Earth.
out here.
Wait,
A
no.
leveling
This
presence.
seat is real.
One thing we didn't want to encounter.
This space
Possibly
is
black,
fake.
blotting out the stars
Okay.
behind it.
That dark spot there.
We're staring into the
Is
face of
that-
extinction.
It's a sun and eclipse.
Is that the Earth?
The remains of a giant star.
I don't think we made it back yet.
A black hole.
Maybe that is just the eclipse. Or is that a black hole?
Far denser than a pulsar.
I don't see anything spinning around in it. Look like
And
it.
impossible to resist.
Now I see something spinning around there.
We're going into a
Its
black
gravity
hole.
is so intense not
Looks like
even
now
light
you
can
see
escape.
spinning stuff.
Are we going to stretch like a pretzel?
This asteroid, it's a lump of solid rock, but it's actually stretching, being dragged towards the gaping hole. Inside, there's no
Help
matter
me, I'm
as we know it.
stretching.
No time, no space. All the rules of physics
Ellie.
collapse.
Whoa. Oh, okay. We're not in a black hole. Good.
Right, might be at the edge of one. So
The
stuff
asteroid is
spinning
gone.
around and around it.
Nobody really knows where.
Good.
This is the edge of
Well,
human
black hole is
understanding.
such a thing.
There could be millions of black
And it's
holes
not something that's
creeping
in, even
around
though
our
we're like
galaxy.
right up
More
against
perhaps
it.
than all the stars in the sky. But we wouldn't see them until it was too late. Like this star,
There.
spiraling, disappearing
Was that
down
that was
into
like
the
a,
invisible
It's
sinkhole.
floating stars, I think.
Who's to say we
Or
don't live
it's-
inside a vast black
or
hole?
it's
But the
the
whole universe
sun is
isn't
holding
inside
a,
one right now.
a beam.
Inside
It looks
another
like a sun
universe.
holding a beam.
Think about it for too long,
Like that.
and your mind reels.
Black spot is the beam.
Mm-hmm.
That thing that's
Sometimes it feels like the more we
There's
see,
a hideout.
the less we know.
Hidouts don't like it. What?
And we're still in our
Milky
own
Way.
galaxy, the Milky Way.
Is that the new star?
The vastness of the
Or is it a
universe
planet?
beyond still lies ahead.
I think it's a planet.
The wonders, the dangers, the
Let's
secrets,
go in.
they're out there,
Let's go in.
waiting to be discovered.
Wow. I think we really are just lost. But
7,000 light years from home.
It's not.
It's as though we're in a forest thick with trees.
and we're still lost in
Each
space
so
and time.
beautiful, so fascinating, it's impossible to look beyond, to see the bigger picture. We have to find a way through, to reach the clearing at the galaxy's edge.
Exploration. Definitely makes me sleepy.
Because it looks like you're looking right up into the night
Faced
sky.
with sights like this, it's hard to leave. Colossal, glowing cloud, topped by these great towers of dust,
Wait a minute.
the pillars of creation, like a gateway into the
I think that's a
unknown.
crazy galaxy, we'll find out.
A star factory packed with embryonic star systems,
I'm out of my chair. Wow.
each larger than our solar
Wait,
system.
no gravity at all. But no gravity at all, but no, not gravity at all. This makes no sense.
We have to resist its siren song, tear ourselves away, to carry on towards the edge of the galaxy.
I am definitely going home now. Please, 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 God, make it Earth. What? That is not Earth. That
Dazzled
is
by the Milky Way's beauty,
what's
we've
it
been blinded
called?
to its terrors and strayed
A
into
dying
a cosmic
star.
minefield. Like an explosion in slow motion. A massive star, millions of times brighter than our sun.
Was that?
It's going into meltdown.
Are we just stuck at the same
The
time?
fuel that sustains it is running out. The nuclear reactions that
Wait,
power
but I
it
can feel
winding
time.
down. We're
And
watching
time.
its death throes.
Ew, ugly colors, ugly colors. It looks like someone pooped on the screen.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Now, where are we? Lost
An even
again?
bigger,
Should be on our way back
dangerously
soon because
unstable star.
We
But this
are
one's about to explode.
almost.
we'll be running out of
And when
time.
a star this big dies,
back.
it's 100 times more violent than a
Well, actually,
supernova.
it's not even doing any time right now.
We've stumbled into
So
the
we're
most
fine.
violent star death of all.
If we find the way back to
A
our normal
hypernova.
time, then we'll be back. Wah, wah, go, go. Wah, wah, wah.
The core's collapsed. It's becoming a black hole. And that's the shock wave surging through the
Is that
star,
Earth?
ripping its
That
outer
is
layers
definitely
into
not
space.
Earth.
Nope.
That is so not. Why are we going inside? This makes no sense. I can't touch it. I can't.
Deadly hypernovas, frozen
Yeah.
comets,
Wow,
Scorched planets.
indeed.
white dwarves, red giants.
Except,
Tiny
I don't want
drops in
you
a
to
vast
see it.
pool
I
of white
do not
light.
want you to see it. I don't
Our
want you to see
whole
it.
galaxy, the Milky Way.
The spiral galaxy, like Milky Way.
We wanted to know where
Wow,
we
because
fit
that
in.
is a Milky Way.
Here's our answer.
I feel like we're not home yet.
We are not.
Civilizations past and present,
Not too much longer.
Everyone
about
that's ever
25
lived.
minutes.
the
How do you
smallest
know it's
bug,
25
the
minutes?
highest mountain, all of it
Because
invisible.
I think the trip
Not even a tiny
lasted
speck.
for an hour and a half. I think so.
Our home is a minor planet
what we paid
orbiting
for,
an
hour and a half.
insignificant star. If it disappeared right now,
Look.
who would even notice? And yet, so far we've found nowhere else we would rather
It's
live.
been an
Nowhere we
hour,
could live.
6 minutes, 55 seconds.
It's only
and,
now, far from home,
9.
that we're beginning to
There's,
truly appreciate
there's
it.
numbers that keep changing every millisecond.
Oh, you know what? We gotta set the clocks
Look
ahead
at all
tonight.
these stars. Hundreds of
Oh,
thousands of
no.
them.
And it isn't night yet. It's not
Surely
even day
one of
yet,
them,
or night.
We
more
should
than
get
one,
back home in time to
must
do
be
that.
capable of supporting life.
Because it,
Billions and billions of stars.
and no time. Wow, time again.
Maybe here, in this swarm of stars, the Great Cluster. Back in the 1970s,
I
astronomers
don't know
sent a
about you,
message in
but
this direction,
everything's shaking.
detailing the structure of our DNA and our solar system's location.
You okay? You get too much
But the
oxygen
message
in your
won't
blood.
arrive here for another 25,000 years.
Scanning for vampire blood. No vampire blood detected.
We haven't
Vampire
found
blood
alien
hydrogen.
life yet, but neither have we found any reason to believe it isn't out there,
Oh,
somewhere.
I am not.
There's an
I'm
equation
not
devised
born
to
yet.
estimate the number
Wait
of
a
other
minute.
advanced civilizations. The
The
result is startling. There could be millions of civilizations
Our food
just in our
disappeared.
own galaxy.
Because
Oh,
we're
we
too
must
far
have
back
paid-
in
oh,
time.
no.
We're too far back in time.
Coming back.
Because food doesn't exist.
Yeah, what did they eat? What did they eat back in time?
Nothing. Because no one exists.
Everything we've seen so far is inside the Milky Way.
Back in time before man.
Yeah.
Now we're ready to leave our home galaxy
Whoa.
to enter intergalactic
I guess.
space. Here's our chance to solve the ultimate mystery,
We're headed back, I
Experience.
think.
the moment of creation.
It's gonna be a little bit though. It's a long trip back. It's a big white flash. Somebody keeps flashing.
Beyond the
camera.
Milky Way, through the vast expanse between galaxies, against all the odds, we've made it to intergalactic space.
Hello. Hello. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Out here, there's no horizon in sight.
Oh man.
Even the closest
we've-
galaxies
we've
are
been
hundreds of
lost more
thousands
than
of light
we've
years
ventured.
away.
We see some crazy
The remains
places.
of galaxies ripped apart
Even though
by
this
the
isn't
Milky Way's
adventuring,
huge
'cause
gravitational pull,
Words don't exist.
scattered
How
among
is it?
nothing. This is as close as the universe gets to a perfect vacuum. But even this isn't totally empty. There are thin wisps of gas, fine traces of dust, and something else.
Dark
matter.
Did you learn how to speak space
So
language?
mysterious we can't see it,
Well,
taste it, touch it, or even measure it. Yet so common, it could make up over 90% of all the matter in the universe. If dark matter does exist, it means there's no such thing as empty space. Even out here, we're surrounded by matter. We think it exists because of its apparent hold on galaxies,
Nebula.
like this one. the large Magellanic Cloud.
Teddy bear.
A 6 billion year journey in today's fastest spacecraft. 160,000 light years from the Milky Way at the edge of its gravitational reach.
Teddy bear.
Must be Ravens.
This
fan.
galaxy should spin off into space,
Nebula,
but something is holding it here. Something invisible, powerful. Dark matter.
Hand.
Stars,
Pop.
clusters of stars, nebulae.
Look out.
It's a vast
You know where we're
astronomical
headed?
treasure
To the
trove.
edge of the universe. That's where we're going. All the way to the very beginning. To the edge
Look at
of the
this.
universe.
It's like a string of gleaming pearls. It's a fireball, expanding out from what must have been a massive explosion. A supernova,
Cool space
so bright that when light from the explosion reached Earth 20 years ago, it was visible to the naked eye, and so violent, it triggered a string of nuclear reactions, forcing atoms together, creating new elements,
That's what they're doing.
Gold,
Now, so far back
silver,
in time, they're going right
platinum.
to the edge of the universe.
blasting them out into space.
Man.
and God.
The gold in the ring on your finger was
You won't
forged
see
in a
God,
massive
though.
supernova like this,
Why won't
trillions
we see
of miles
God?
away, billions of years ago.
Is God invisible?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Before we left home, the
Can't see
universe
God.
seemed separate.
But what about when
Something
God
out
exists?
there, up in the
What
sky.
is this?
But
now we
it's a
know better.
lie.
We are
Alive,
the
you
universe,
just never
and
can
it
see him.
is within us.
So it's a spirit. You can't see spirit with flesh. Flesh eyes, you can't see spirit.
It's comforting to remember as we venture through
What
this
spirit
abyss,
eyes? Can you see spirits?
Yep.
further and further,
I have spirit eyes and flesh eyes. Half spirit, half flesh.
Oh, cool.
faster and faster.
Now we're really flying.
The
It
Andromeda
looks like
Galaxy,
it's. It
two
looks
and a
like
half
that's
million
round.
light years away.
It does, doesn't it?
It looks like we're on
It's
an ice planet.
racing through space.
Whoa.
Everything blown
Crazy
apart
colors.
like shrapnel
Space.
in
I
an
know.
explosion.
That's
Look
why
at all
it's
the
beautiful.
colors out there.
We're seeing this galaxy as it was when our
Whoa.
ape-like
Yes.
ancestors first walked on the African plains.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Further through space and further back in time. Hold on. This doesn't look right. A whole galaxy exploding? The only thing large enough to cause an explosion on this scale is another galaxy.
We just saw it a couple minutes
It looks
ago.
like the end of the world.
It's called a exploding star. A nebula.
This galaxy won't die. It'll be
In a
reborn.
big
A new
red arms
shape,
and yellow
perhaps even
cloud.
new stars, as dust and gas
And now it got
collide,
crazier.
creating friction, shock waves, triggering the birth of stars.
Man. And
There's order in this chaos, a pattern behind the infinite variety, an endless cycle of birth and death, creation and destruction. It's a pattern woven through the vast fabric of space that binds each of these galaxies. There are billions of galaxies, each with billions, even trillions of stars.
We're already recording.
Maybe more stars than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on
I
Earth.
hope it's working. We'll find out.
It says stop recording. Studio mode.
We're finally beginning to see the
Guys,
big
we do
picture,
have an invisible camera.
and it's grander than we ever imagined.
And it's literally right in front of you.
This
It's
galaxy,
just- it's invisible. You
the
can't
huge
see it.
pinwheel galaxy,
That's why
is
you
so
will
far
see
from
our
Earth that if we send a
space.
message home
Yeah.
now, it will take 27 million years to get there. Who knows whether our species, our planet, will still be around
No, that's
to receive it. travel on, back through time. Past the point where the dinosaurs were wiped out. Past the moment where the first creatures crawled onto land.
What?
$2 billion light years from home, closing in on the edge of the universe, going back to the beginning of time.
There we go.
This isn't a galaxy.
Back to the beginning.
It's brighter than 100 galaxies.
Of everything.
Blinding beam of energy surging for trillions of miles.
Way back.
Way back.
Something this big, this bright, must be incredibly powerful. Experience tells us, out here, power equals danger.
Stepped into a
It looks like a quasar, the deadliest thing in the universe. Our journey could be over.
Every time we do warp speed.
The deadliest, most powerful thing in the universe. A quasar. A swirling cauldron of superheated gas.
It looks like a cyclone. Or a hurricane with a tornado on top.
This beast has a heart of darkness. A supermassive black hole as heavy as 1 billion suns.
Lots worse thing back then. Lots worse thing back then. Way back.
It's ripping apart whole stars, devouring them until they're nothing, lost forever from the visible universe. We think, we hope, we pray we've seen the worst the universe can throw at us, but no one can know what lies ahead.
Why are we going so far back? It's like,
all the way to the edge of the universe.
oh, we aren't doing time travel. We're just trying to get to the end. And we're seeing things that are happening now.
We'll need to go further, go faster. $8 billion light years from
Oh,
home.
we're getting bigger.
More galaxies. But these look different. Ragged, small,
Coming out of the
close
galley.
together.
Come on around.
We're so far back in time, we're seeing these galaxies as they were before the Earth was born. They're still young, still growing. We're getting close to where and how it all began.
Welcome. There you are. Almost at the edge of the universe. We'll be there probably 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Look at the galaxies now.
You slept
They're
through
more
the
like
trip.
primitive plankton, floating in a vast dark ocean.
Yeah. Who's in the sleep? You weren't just hanging out in the galley.
Clouds of dust and gas, dancing, twirling, merging to make embryonic galaxies.
This house is a spaceship.
Oh. Galley's kitchen.
And dun 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 dun.
There's the camera.
They're disappearing.
What's happening?
We've gone back before the stars were born.
We're going
into
long
a
before
cosmic dark
the universe
age.
even started.
Oh. Where are we? Where are we?
And before that,
That was flying.
light,
Way in the
the
spaceship.
afterglow
Oh,
from the massive explosion that created
Watching
the
the
known
cool
universe.
spaceship.
All the way to the edge of the
Spaceship.
universe.
Poor man or God was there.
Oh. Really?
We're almost to the edge. Getting closer and closer.
This is it. We've made it.
Sun.
The edge of the universe.
80
80 billion trillion miles from home.
It looks like we already are at the
13
edge.
and a half billion years ago.
I can't tell what I'm looking at.
You're looking at the
Looks like
very
a
The very
beginning
instant
point
of the
time.
Big Bang, the most violent, most
And I'm being
creative
is this
moment
right,
in
right
history.
now. See it.
Everything that's ever
Zero,
happened
zero, zero, zero,
follows
zero, zero.
from this moment.
My watch doesn't work.
It's broken.
Yeah, because
There's
right
no
now
time.
there is no time.
No time in space.
It doesn't exist.
There's only time on
Every
Earth.
religion,
Made up.
every culture has pondered
That's
it.
because of the sun and the moon. Other than
We
that,
still don't know
no such
what
thing.
sparked this act of
That's
creation
pretty.
It is pretty.
or why.
Lots of colors in space, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This is where our journey ends.
Somewhere in the video, it looks like someone peeked on the
universe
screen because there was
begins.
tons of brown.
Have a seat in the pilot seat.
Yeah.
This is the pilot seat.
An infinitely
That's where I
hot,
sat.
small, dense point erupts.
And this is the passenger seat.
Passenger seat.
And how about just place things out?
What the look?
Creating
It's
space,
me.
Yeah.
time, matter,
Me and Poopy.
our universe itself.
That's why there was poop on the street.
First, it's the size of a subatomic particle. The tiniest fraction of a second later, it's big enough to hold in the palm of your hand.
What? That was
Moments
perfect.
later, it's the size of the Earth.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what the narrator says about all this.
7 more minutes.
That's 7 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the light from the Big Bang is still spreading out. You can hear it
And
as a
hopefully it's
radio
all
hiss.
actually recording.
She gets very jealous. And George,
See it.
Mommy loves her.
As television static.
And do what? Look, static in space.
That-
Yeah.
6 minutes.
All the wonders we've seen on our journey
Probably
are sparks
galaxies.
flying out from the Big Bang.
It's really sticky
Galaxies.
in this paper.
Stars,
You're in space.
planets,
It's
all
sticky in this
cosmic
paper.
debris.
Probably for the Lulu spit and Isaac farts.
We go forward through time, riding the
That's
blast
why I said
wave.
what looked like a cyclone with a tornado on top.
Mhm.
Oh,
Crazy looking place out
what in the world?
there. Galaxies.
It looks like we're underwater now.
The other side.
Until we reach
Water.
another cooling cinder, swirling in the
Now we're going
afterglow
backwards.
of the Big Bang.
Look.
Fire.
We're back where we started.
Where is that from?
Earth.
Only now
What's happening?
can we really know it. Smaller, more fragile than we ever imagined.
Comet that we were
Destined
on.
to die,
We're on the
swallowed
sun.
by a dying sun.
We actually touched it.
But we
Like we
shouldn't
bounced off.
despair. We should
Why
rejoice.
is it on fire?
We've managed to experience the
Where's
wonders
that
of the
fire
universe.
happening?
There's this scenes on
They're
We
Earth.
should
telling
celebrate our
stories.
achievements.
See, this is
And
not
enjoy
this actually didn't even
our
happen
moment
in real
in the
life.
sun.
Oh, where we are back in the ocean. We're done.
The stars of the show. Now, world famous Isaac Prager and Pop. It's good to be back home.
And that's it. So.